It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Monday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers and Rockies opening up a 3-game series. Colorado has a slight edge. They've won 5 of 9. However, the Dodgers won 2 out of 3 against Colorado here at Dodger Stadium, where they're also playing better ball of late. They've won 6 of the last 7 here at home. A couple of youngsters out of the Dominican Republic go head-to-head tonight. Juan Nicasio will be on the mound for Colorado. He is 4-2, 4-0 at home, 0-2 on the road. Ruby De La Rosa will be on the mound for the Dodgers with a record of 3-4. For the Rockies, they've been limping and hurting of late. Carlos Gonzalez is on the DL. They're 11 games back of the Giants. The Dodgers trail by 13.5. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this. Is brought to you by Hyundai. People are talking about Hyundai Uncensored. See what they're saying at mysocalhyundai.com. By Shakey's, where you can get your PCM on. Text MOJO to 99,000 to win a large PCM. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T.
Well, the Dodgers looking to start off this week on a good note as the Rockies are in town for the start of 3. Dodgers continue this 9-game homestand. They're playing good baseball here with Steve Lyons Patrick O'Neill. An opportunity tonight, Steve, to see two really young pitchers, similar to going back a couple of years ago with Lincecum and Kane and Jimenez. Perhaps in a couple of years we'll be talking about these two guys just like that.
Yeah, we always talk so much about the dominating pitching that's here in the National League West. These guys are on the way. When you look at Nicasio, just 24 years old. De La Rosa, 22 years old. 3 years ago, wasn't even pitching in the United States. He was in the Dodgers Summer League Dominican program, just the fifth Dominican-born pitcher to pitch for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Both of these guys love their fastballs. They can each touch upwards of 100 miles an hour, so you're going to see a lot of gas out there tonight. Whoever commands the strike zone gets the win.
All right, it's going to be fun to watch. Nicasio, at one point, he pitches well at Coors Field, had 15 scoreless innings pitched there, but different story on the road. So when we come back, first pitch, Vin Scully has the call right here on Prime Ticket.
Jack's Really Big Chicken Sandwich Combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Monday evening to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium, and welcome to Game 1 of the three-game series between the Dodgers and the Colorado Rockies. The Dodgers have won 4 of the 9 from Colorado. They have won 2 out of 3 here, and for that matter, the Dodgers have won 6 of the last 7 games that they have played at home. For the Dodgers, trying to keep it going against 2 tough rivals in the Western Division, because when they finish these 3 with Colorado, they'll then welcome the Arizona Diamondbacks starting Friday night. For Jim Tracy, like Davey Johnson, a former Dodger manager, coming back to Dodger Stadium, Jim has always been a great player's favorite, a player's manager, I guess you could say, and it's great to have him back. He had a lengthy meeting with his coaches before the game, so we'll find out what kind of strategy he has in mind. But first, we'll take a look at the names on his lineup card. Dexter Fowler will be in center field. Mark Ellis, formerly with the A's, at second base. Todd Helton at first. Troy Tulowitzki at short. Seth Smith is in right field. Ty Wigginton has a big pair of shoes to fill. Carlos Gonzalez banged up on the DL, so Wigginton is in left. Ian Stewart, who has really been a puzzle for Colorado all year, we'll talk about that. He's at third. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. Juan Nicasio on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Ruby De La Rosa. He's only 22 years old. De La Rosa, in looking at his chronology for the year, from June into July, he is 0-2 with a great earned run average of 2.1. He's also held the opposition to a 223 batting average. He has basically allowed 6 earned runs in 25 innings, but the Dodgers have given him 5 runs of support. So we'll see what he does right now with the switch hitter, Dexter Fowler, to start it off. Dexter Fowler hitting .250, 24 runs batted in. Big daddy longlegs kind of a player, playing center field. And De La Rosa's first pitch is low, ball 1, 1-0. Looking at his numbers, well, Fowler's hitting .246 right, .251 left. He does not have a home run. A speedster who takes low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Even stealing bases, he has sloughed off a bit. He has only stolen 4, and he's been caught 7. Fowler tries to golf one, doesn't get it, and the count 2-1. Beautiful evening at the start of the game. The temperature 79 degrees. So Dexter Fowler waiting at the plate on a 2-1 pitch. Here comes De La Rosa throwing hard, fastball away. He hits 99. Remember, when he pitched in Colorado, he went 5 innings. He impressed. He also hit 100 on the gun, but at the end of 5, he was gone. 3-1 fastball, and that misses for ball 4. Took a little off. He went from 99 to 97. I think he thought surely that he had a strike. Rivera, Kemp, and ETHIER in the outfield. Dodgers with the leather. Miles for call. Velez and Loney on the infield. And Navarro handling De La Rosa. So Fowler draws the walk. And the batter now will be Mark Ellis. Not seen Mark Ellis before. He has tremendous respect as one of the smartest players in the game and one of the classiest. Throw to first. Fowler back on the bag. Mark Ellis out of Rapid City, South Dakota, went to the University of Florida, and all you hear about is A, what a great guy he is, and B, what a thoroughly professional guy he is. He's 5'11" and 180. He's 34 years old. 1 year with the A's. 4 years ago, he had 19 home runs. He's not that kind of a hitter. He has 2 home runs this year, but he's hitting a solid .325 and takes a strike, and the count 0-1. When Mark Ellis went to the University of Florida, he played shortstop. The second baseman was David Eckstein. He's played in a lot of pressure games, even starting in the College World Series. So Mark, right hand hit away, and the strike 1 pitch on the way, swung on, popped in the air, foul behind the plate. Navarro comes back and puts it away. So Ellis fouls out to Deanna Navarro, and we have 1 away as Ellis makes the walk back to the dugout, and Todd Helton coming up. Todd Helton, like Old Man River, just keeps rolling along. In the month of July, his on-base percentage is still amazing. Only Yunel Escobar, Emilio Bonifacio ahead of him. He has an on-base percentage of .481, hitting .319, 11 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Todd swings, doesn't get the first one, and the count 0-1. Helton, last year and this, has 16 runs batted in against the Dodgers. Hitting back of him, Troy Tulowitzki has knocked in 23 against the Dodgers in the last 2 years. Here's the strike 1 pitch of the veteran. Helton takes off speed and away. Off speed with De La Rosa is 90 miles an hour. So De La Rosa facing the great Helton. Todd went 0 for 4 against him in Colorado. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. Helton swings, gets a piece of it, and that's it. And a 1-2 count. A little tough at this hour. I mean, we have a bright blue sky. The lights do not take effect at 7:15. Sun still splashing on the scoreboard and the pavilion in right and the grandstand down in the right-hand corner. Yet it's pretty dark on the infield. Tough combination and especially facing a guy throwing 95 and up. 1-2 the count to HELTON. De La Rosa delivers off speed and away, and the count 2-2 strikes. Only 5 players in Major League history possess a .325 batting average, 400 on base percentage, .570 slugging percentage. You guessed it. One of them is Todd Helton with the great names in the game. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. De La Rosa delivers high. Who are the great names he's joined? Whoops! A delayed call by Larry Vanover. Helton can't believe it. I'm sorry. We just thought Helton, and so did Todd, we thought he was calling a ball, but it dropped in for a strike. And the umpire broke the news to Todd while he just stood in the plate. So we have 2 down, and the batter will be Troy Tulowitzki. It is rare indeed for Helton to be called out on strikes. Rare indeed. So 2 out, Fowler at first, a threat to run, and here's Troy Tulowitzki hitting .279. Out of a stretch is De La Rosa, fastball inside, ball 1 at 97. Just to conclude the thought on Helton, who are the other fellas? Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, and Albert Pujols. As the late Pearl Bailey would say, that ain't no bad crowd to hang around with. 1-0 the count to Tulowitzki. Throw to first, Fowler back on his hands and knees. Tulowitzki was out for a little while, had a bad thigh, but he's the leader. In fact, they say when you follow the club every day, Tulowitzki's problem is if somebody else goes down, he tries to do the work of 2 men. And perhaps that's one reason why he's hitting .279 now, because Carlos Gonzalez is down. Tulo doesn't hang. 1 ball and no strikes. He averages 3 to 3.5 pitches in at bat. De La Rosa deals. He backs off, does true, and take a strike, and the count 1-1. He also takes a lot of called strikes. So Troy Tulowitzki, born in Santa Clara, lives in Sunnyvale, signed a major league contract, went to the minors, and in 14 months he was in the big leagues. 1-1 the count. 2 out, first inning, no score. Here comes De La Rosa, and it's swung on and foul back, and the count 1-2. Now, one thing where Helton is rarely called out on strikes, Troy Tulowitzki is called out a lot. Almost 40% of his strikeouts, it's a called strike 3. At home, he has 11 of his 19 home runs hit at Coors Field. 1-2 the count to Tulowitzki. De La Rosa set, deals, and it's low. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Ruby De La Rosa. It's kind of remarkable to see a guy hit 99 and 100, and he's only 170 pounds. So he's been blessed indeed. Certainly he has to remind you of Pedro Martinez. Here's the 2-2 pitch coming up. Ruby set, delivers, and it's low, ball 3. So 3-2 the count to Troy Tulowitzki. And looking at Tulowitzki's numbers, he is a very aggressive hitter. He has walked 37 times, but he's only struck out 41. So 3-2, Fowler will be going with 2 out. De La Rosa set, looks over his left shoulder, still looking. Now there goes Fowler, and the pitch is low, ball 4. So for De La Rosa, he's fortunate he got that high strike on Helton. And there's just runners at first and second. And with 2 out, the batter will be Seth Smith. No score in the first inning. Dodgers fell into a bad habit. You know, back in the end of June, they gave up a run in the first inning against Minnesota, and they were the toughest team in the majors, had given up only 23 runs in the first inning until the Washington Nationals got here. And they scored in the first inning of every game. 1 run, 3 runs, and 1 run. So we'll see now. Smitty takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Seth Smith hitting .289, 8 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Seth getting a chance to play in the outfield tonight for sure. He's out of Mississippi, went to school at the university, football player. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Check swing on a pitch low. Swing, says Brian Gorman. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Seth had a football scholarship to the University of Mississippi. Was a backup quarterback to Eli Manning for 3 years. Did not get a single snap and decided he'd best concentrate on baseball. The 1-1 pitch on the way. De La Rosa deals. Smith pops it in the air into left center. Coming over is Matt Kemp, calling, waiting, and puts it away. No runs, no hits, 2 left, and at the end of half an inning, Rockies nothing, Dodgers coming up. .21 pitches in the first inning. Walked 2, struck out 1, and got out of it without a run. Here's the Dodger lineup. Rafael Furcal at short. Aaron Miles at third. Then you have Andre Ethier and Matt Kemp. Juan Rivera in left. James Loney at first. Deanna Navarro behind the plate. Eugenio Velez will play second base tonight. To quote Mattingly, I just want to take a look at him. On the mound is De La Rosa. And on the mound for Colorado, Juan Nicasio. He's only 25. He's from the Dominican. Big fella, 6'3", 220. Comes over the top with a good fastball in for a strike to Rafael Furcal. Nicasio from San Francisco de Macorís in the Dominican. The strike 1 pitch on the way, fastball away. That was 95. You would expect 95 from a guy the size of Nicasio. You don't expect it from somebody like De La Rosa, who is 170. The 1-1 pitch on the way, big bouncer up the middle. Here comes Ellis and makes the play to first. So Furcal taps up the middle, and we have 1 away. Take a look at the Rockies defensively. Wigginton, Fowler, and Smith in the outfield. Stewart, Tulowitzki, Ellis, and Helton on the infield. Behind the plate, Chris Iannetta handling Juan Nicasio. So with 1 away, Aaron Miles coming up. I would think that Aaron Miles is one of the biggest and most pleasant surprises on any team in the big leagues. He's hitting .308, but there's a lot more to him than that. He has a home run, 25 runs batted in. You know what he's hitting with runners on base? .381. He's the number 1 hitter in the majors right now with runners on. The 1-0 pitch to the switch hitter, that's in for a strike. And the count 1-1. Aaron Miles hitting .373 against the left-hand pitching in the league. 1-1, Darren. Here comes Nicasio, comes over the top, down and away. Nicasio, and it's kind of a surprise. You hear a fella from Colorado, and he's 4-2. You'd figure, well, Denver's such a tough place to pitch. He's probably 0-2 at home, 4-0 on the road. It's exactly the opposite. His 2-1 pitch is hit in the air down the left field line, slicing foul, and will go back into the stands. Ty Wigginton over to take a look, and that's all. 2-2 the count. So Juan Nicasio, he was signed as a free agent, about 19 years old. Basically, he has two fastballs, the sinker and the high hard one, curveball, slider, and a change. As we said, 25 years old come the end of August. So Juan looks in to get a sign. Big guy turns, ready, and the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball, a high chopper to short, gloving it is Tulowitzki to make the play, and we have 2 down. One thing to keep in mind with those ground balls, Nicasio does get a lot of double plays. So with 2 out, here's Andre Ethier. Ethier hitting .296. As you probably know, Andre Ethier and Matt Kemp have both been struggling. Perhaps part of it is just plain weary after a long year. But the difference between June and July with Ethier and Kemp is somewhat startling. Ethier's hitting .296. In July, he's hitting .200. Kemp hit .375 in June, and he's hitting .225 in July. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Ethier. In the month of July, Ethier has 4 runs batted in, and Kemp has 10. 1-1 the count. Back comes the pitch, a little high to Andre. 2-1 the count. Andre with 9 home runs, 44 runs batted in. Nicasio into the windup. The 2-1 pitch, fastball off the plate. 3-1 the count. Juan Nicasio facing Andre Ethier. Ethier 2 for 3 against him back in Denver. Matt Kemp on deck, 2 for 3 against him. 3-1 pitch to Ethier is taken high, ball 4. So the 1-out walk to the 2-out walk to Ethier brings up Matt Kemp.
Dodger center fielder number 27.
Matt hitting .310. He has 24 home runs, 73 RBIs, and as we said, 2 for 3 with a home run against Nicasio. In looking at Nicasio's numbers, he has walked 23. He has struck out 52, though better than 2-1. Matt waiting. Ethier held on at first by Todd Helton. Nicasio at the belt and deals, and the fastball is low and inside, ball 1. As far as home runs are concerned, Nicasio pitching in Denver, and he's allowed 7 home runs. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Right-handed delivers. Matt pulls away, and the pitch is inside. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Rockies pitching has faltered the last 6 weeks. Through June, they were 1 game under 500. Since the 11th of June, the pitching, they're 17-22. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Matt strokes it into left field. Base hit. Ethier to second base and holding. So 2 on, 2 out, and Juan Rivera coming up. Nice easy swing by Matt Kemp. Just put the bat on the ball and rifles a single to left. So the Dodgers trying to get off the right foot after the Rockies left 2 in the first inning. The opposition's batting average against Rockies pitching from the middle of June on about 40 points higher than it had been earlier in the year. And the hitters with runners in scoring position are about 65 points higher since the middle of June. So the Rockies have a good offense. They score a lot of runs, above average in the league, but their pitching has been hurting. And Nicasio in a first inning jam with 2 out. Juan Rivera at the plate. Rivera, right-hand batter, playing left field tonight. Nicasio delivers, and the first one in for a strike, and the count 0-1. You know one thing about the Rockies that's hard to believe? They have lost 14 straight Sundays. Can you imagine? Every Sunday they lose. Well, almost. 14 straight. 0-1 the count. And Rivera, tired of waiting, backs out. Never on Sunday. Remember that movie? Well, it wasn't about the Rockies, but they're thinking about that, I'm sure. 0-1 to Juan Rivera. ETHIER at second, Kemp at first with 2 out. Nicasio staring back. Big Kid delivers, and he's low. A bluff by Iannetta sends Kemp back to the bag. 1 ball and 1 strike to Juan Rivera. Matt, of course, like a racehorse with nowhere to go. He has stolen 27 out of 30, but second base occupied by Andre Ethier. So Rivera hitting .296. He has a home run, 1 run batted in. Nicasio again straightens up. He's made 18 pitches. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Right-handed delivers inside, and the count runs 2-1. So you have 2 young, hard-throwing right-handers. De La Rosa in his first inning made 21 pitches. Now here's Nicasio. He's made 19 with 2 on and 2 out. Juan staring in, nods yes to Iannetta. Now at 6-3, he straightens up, and the 2-1 pitch swung on and fouled off, and the count 2-2 to Juan Rivera. And like every hitter that ever played the game, as soon as he fouled it off, he turned and asked Larry Vanover, did I swing at a strike? And he got a nod. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. First inning, no score. Ulysses Chassin and Clayton Kershaw tomorrow night on KCAL 9. Chassin is 8-7. Kershaw 11-4. Clayton chewing his gum, taking in the game. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, and down goes Rivera. So they're almost images of each other. Each team leaves 2, and each right-hander blows down the hitter, and at the end of an inning, no score. La Rosa after 21 pitches, listening to Rick Honeycutt. Now, Nicasio after 21 pitches, listening to Bob Apodaca, his coach. And we go to the second, no score, with Wigginton, Stewart, and Iannetta. Ty Wigginton hitting .256, and first ball swinging, pops it foul. Here comes a sliding one-handed try, and it got out of the mitt of Navarro. So Deanna Navarro going into a slide. He might not have had to do that, but of course his eye was on the ball all the way, and it landed in the mitt and then came out. So that means Wigginton is still there. Fine effort by Deanna Navarro, but he couldn't quite glove it. 0-1 the count. Now let's see what Wigginton does with the so-called break. Strike one pitch is a hopper, backhanded on the grass by Furcall, who winds up to throw him out. Raphael, blessed with that strong arm, nails Wigginton, one down, and Ian Stewart coming up. Probably the biggest disappointment right now for the Rockies, and every team has plenty of him, is Ian Stewart. I mean, here's a fellow who has all the tools. He is remarkably gifted. He was a first-round pick 8 years ago out of La Quinta High School. He's from Long Beach, lives in Garden Grove. He has 1 run batted in this year, swings and doesn't get it. I mean, that's impossible. And yet, 1 RBI. He had as many as 25 home runs and 70 RBIs. 19 home runs, 18 home runs. This year, no home runs and 1 run batted in. And we're not trying to give him a bad time. We salute him for all of his wonderful ability, and it's just a mystery why he's hitting 149. The 1-1 pitch swung on, lifted to left field and deep. Going back with plenty of room is Rivera, and makes the catch. So Ian Stewart flies to left field. We have 2 down in the second inning, and Chris Iannetta coming up.
Chris Iannetta.
So the catcher, Chris Iannetta, hitting .220, 10 home runs, 36 runs batted in. We're in the second inning, no score, Dodgers and Rockies. De La Rosa deals, and the first one in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Nothing across. Couple of walks, but that's it for the Rockies up to here. Dodgers had a base hit by Kemp and nothing else. Strike one pitch is a little low. Colorado, 2 different teams. At home, they're hitting .279. On the road, .230. Against right-handers, Jim's club is 12 games under 500. The 1-1 pitch off speed and low, 2-1 to count. Against left-handers, and they're going to look at one tomorrow night in Clayton Kershaw, they're 17-11. 2-1 to count. No score, second inning, 2 out. De La Rosa delivers away. 3-1 to count. I don't know how in the world anybody can see a pitch 96, 97 miles an hour at this time of the evening, but they are the best. De La Rosa ready into the windup, and the 3-1 pitch swung on, hit towards center, big hopper, and it'll find its way through. So a 2-out single by Iannetta will bring up Juan Nicasio. Big chopper like a marble on a marble floor, big high bounce and on through. So hit number 1 to go with the 2 walks. And with Iannetta, certainly no threat to run, and especially with the pitcher coming up with 2 out. But Loney's going to stay on the bag anyway. Nicasio is 2 for 17. And those 2 hits were rather miraculous, because in 17 at-bats, he struck out 13 times. And he promptly bangs one fair inside the right field line, down in the corner. Here comes the catcher, Iannetta, and they'll hold him at third on the long single by Juan Nicasio. Well, that's something. 17 at-bats. He struck out 13 times, and he comes up with a second hit. Got a fastball up and out over the plate. and just did wedge it inside the right field line and down in the corner. So runners at first and third with 2 out, and Dexter Fowler coming up. Fowler with 24 runs batted in. Fowler was optioned out to Colorado Springs and called back. He's hitting .250. Big swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. So Fowler trying to keep it going. Fowler from Alpharetta, Georgia. His dad coached youth baseball in Georgia. He has a look at a pitch low and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. His mom is an elementary school phys ed teacher. His dad gave him an analogy. His dad said, you don't put a steak in the microwave. It gets tough and chewy. You let it marinate. You grill it. You season it. And he's talking about his son. The pitch is off the plate. 2-1. Well, Dexter is only 25. He came up 3 years ago, and he's been up and down, either Rockies to Tulsa or the Rockies to Colorado Springs. He holds up on a pitch on the inside corner for a strike, and the count 2-2. Dexter Fowler with the veteran Mark Ellis on deck. No score, second inning. Rockies at first and third. De La Rosa set at the belt. Ruby checking the runners at the corners. Very deliberate, and the pitch to Fowler is grounded into right field, base hit. Ionetta scores. Stopping at second is Nicasio, and the Rockies take a 1-0 lead on 3 straight singles with 2 out. So Fowler singles to right, picking up the RBI. And the batter now is Mark Ellis. Ellis fouled out to Neota Navarro. So with 2 out, Ionetta bounced one up the middle for a base hit. Nicasio single to right. Now Fowler singles to right. And the Rockies lead 1-0 as Mark Ellis checks in at the plate. Ellis spent a long time with the A's. Came up in 2002 and was with him until he just moved over to Colorado. The pitch to Mark, he's way out in front of it, and the count 0-1. What kind of a guy is Mark Ellis? He's won the award twice, in 2005 and 2007. What was the award? It's the Catfish Hunter Award. It's an award given to an outstanding A's player. Not only a good player, but a good guy and great character. Ellis backs off, and it'll cost a strike, and the count 0-2. Actually, it says a player whose play on the field and demeanor in the clubhouse best exemplifies the courageous, competitive, and inspirational spirit that was a big part of Jim Catfish Hunter's character. 2 on, 2 out, a run in. Strike 2 pitch. Ellis in the dirt, blocked nicely by Navarro, and we have a 1 ball, 2 strike count. So young Ruby De La Rosa has now made 40 pitches, and of course that's always a problem. A young, hard thrower. Made 21 in the first inning, 19 so far. 1-2 the count to Mark Ellis. De La Rosa ready. Here he comes, and it's a fastball at 94 for call strike 3. So Ellis goes out, but not before 3 hits with 2 out. And at the end of an inning and a half, Fowler makes it 1-0 Colorado. Is brought to you by El Pollo Loco. Try a 2-piece leg and thigh combo with 2 small classic sides and a drink for $5 at El Pollo Loco. By Corona and by Time Warner Cable. Rockies take a 1-0 lead thanks to a 2-out base hit by Dexter Fowler to cash in Chris Iannetta. And with a 1-0 lead for Colorado, we'll take a look at the bottom of the second inning. It'll be James Loney, followed by Diana Navarro, and then Eugenio Velez. We have a minute. I want to salute the third base umpire in the game tonight, an old pal, Brian Gorman, whose father, Tom Gorman, well, if you were casting a movie and you wanted a house detective in a hotel, that would be his dad, Tom. Tom umpired 25 years in the big leagues. He also played with the Giants, but Tom Gorman was such a great umpire, and Brian knew that. When his father died, they buried him in his umpire's uniform with the ball and strike indicator in his hand. I've always wondered what was the count on the indicator on his way to heaven. Meanwhile, James Loney takes outside ball 1. What do you think? 3-2? Yeah, all three of us agree. 3-2 would be the count. 1 ball and no strikes to Loney. James looks at 1 and it'll cost. So 1-1 to Loney, hitting .261. 4 home runs, 33 runs batted in. The 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled off 1-2. And we neglected to say, talking about Brian's dad, Tom, if an umpire can be beloved, if an umpire can have a lot of friends amongst all of the players, it was his dad. And Tom was really special. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming up to Loney, and it's swung on, a little dribbler back to the box. Nicasio will walk it over and then flip to Helton, and just like that, 1 away. You know, every Friday night home game, Friday night fireworks presented by Pizza Hut. All fans invited onto the field following the game to enjoy the show. And the next fireworks night this Friday at 7:10. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. And, of course, this Friday, Kirk Gibson and Arizona will be here. Diana Navarro hitting .202, 3 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Hitting left-handed and takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Navarro with 3 home runs. Waiting on deck, Eugenio Velez. Next pitch is swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. Nicasio has made 27 pitches. He comes back 0-2 and it's fouled away. Each young pitcher made 21 pitches. Then De La Rosa made 19 in the second inning for 40. And we'll just see how close Nicasio comes to that. Juan turns into the windup, and the strike 2 pitch is just outside, ball 1. 1-2 to Diana Navarro. Navarro has been doing well in the month of July. He's hitting .310 during the month. He's been in 11 games. 7-game hitting streak, swings and misses, and down he goes. Strikeout number 2 for Nicasio. And the batter will be Eugenio Velez, making a start. As Don Mattingly said before the game, it's a lefty-righty thing. Velez bats left-handed. He said, I wanted to give him the start and see what he looks like. Well, he's used Velez basically as a pinch runner. And now let's see. Eugenio, the name looks like Eugene with an I-O at the end of it. Eugenio, 0 for 7. All his weight on the back foot as he looks at ball 1. He's 6'1", maybe 160 pounds. First thought we had when we saw him was the fact he could slip right into D. Gordon's uniform. They're both about the same. The 1-0 pitch on the way, fouled into the crowd off third base. 1-1 to Velez. He's from San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican. 6'1", only 160, maybe 160. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. Originally signed by the Blue Jays, made it to the big leagues with the Giants. 1-1 pitch, and Eugenio takes a strike. 1-2. If he gets on base, he can run. Stole 15 bases for the Giants. That would be his big league high. 1-2 to the young second baseman. He can also play a little outfield for you. The 1-2 pitch, Velez, ground ball wide to third, on it easily there, and the throw to first from Ian Stewart, and that's a very quiet inning for Nicasio. Dodgers go 1-2-3, and at the end of 2, Rockies 1, Dodgers nothing. Your local Mazda dealer. 1-0 Rockies, third inning. An interesting thought now on this first pitch to HELTON. Swung on and fouled away. Couple of things. Number one, normally Todd HELTON gets pretty deep in the box, fouls off a lot of pitches and gets deep into the count. But when he swings at that first pitch, he is troubled. Ground ball to the right side to Velez, who throws him out. Just to give you an idea about HELTON, if the count had been 1 ball and no strikes, he is 16 for 29, batting .552. But not this time. So 1 away, and Troy Tulowitzki coming up. Tulowitzki walked in the first inning, hitting .279, 19 home runs, 67 runs batted in. Into the windup goes De La Rosa, and his first pitch down and away, and it gets away, rolling over on deck to Seth Smith. So Tulowitzki, a remarkable young talent, I should say. Among other things, he had only played 550 games, which is really not a lot. And after 500 games, he signed a contract for $157 million, almost 158, 10 years. And there isn't a baseball man who wouldn't agree he's worth it. Tulowitzki is 26. He'll be 27 in October. And the 2-0 pitch on the way. Troy looks, and that's a strike. He's big. He's 6'3", and he is 210. He's been remarkably consistent. Home and road, left-handers, right-handers, doesn't make much difference. Now the 2-1 pitch on the way, and that's low, ball 3-1. One of the things that always caught my attention about Troy Tulowitzki, he makes notes about base runners. And he knows which base runner will come in head first, which will come in feet first. 3-1 pitch on the way, and that's a strike, 3-2. So whoever's coming in head first, he might use his knee to block the bag on a close play. But if he knows the runner comes in feet first, he'll make the play, but he'll get out of there. Just a little something extra to be a good ball player. Troy waiting, right-hand batter, 3-2 pitch on the way, and that's a fastball low, ball 4. So with 1 out, De La Rosa walks his third man. Well, you got a 22-year-old flamethrower. He's hitting 98. You expect him to walk some people, that's for sure. And now Seth Smith, who flied to center in the first inning, coming up. Seth Smith has 40 extra base hits, though he's trouble, hitting .288, 8 home runs, 42 runs batted in. De La Rosa delivers, and this one's on the outside corner for a strike, and the count 0-1. Tulowitzki has stolen 6 out of 8, but it could be that Tracy might want to keep Loney on the bag and keep the hole open on the right side. 0-1 the count. De La Rosa set. There goes the run of the pitch inside. The throw down on a hop, not in time. So Troy Tulowitzki has stolen 7 out of 9 as he steals second base. The pitch on a bounce, and by the time it was snared by Furcal to put it on the runner, Tulo was in there. The tag was above the knee, but when you look at the replay, it looked like it might have gotten him. But of course, we're using some pretty high-powered equipment. So Tulo at second with 1 out, and a 1-1 count on Seth Smith. De La Rosa comes right back, and that's fouled off. 1-2 the count to the old QB from Ole Miss. Now Navarro going out to talk as Seth backs away. Smith has been with the Rockies for quite a while, a consistent performer. In and out of the lineup, however, and that makes things particularly tough because you also have Ryan Spilborghs ready to go, and normally Carlos Gonzalez, Cargo. In the National League, just about 12% of Seth Smith's at-bats produces an extra base hit. That's very high. Number 1, in fact. Left-hand hitter tired of waiting and backs out. He's also pretty much of a fly ball hitter. Trying to pick up Tulowitzki. It's 1-0 Rockies, top of the third. And the pitch swung on, fouled away off to the left out of play. For Seth Smith, I guess he will never forget the fact that his first Major League RBI was in a postseason game. Only 7 players have that distinction, and 5 of the 7 were pitchers. Only Smith and Brian Doyle of the Yankees knocked in their first run batted in a postseason game. The 1-2 pitch to Seth, breaking ball. He waited and just did foul it away. They're always talking about waiting on the pitch. Boy, did he wait on that thing. And he fought it off. The remarkable thing about the good hitter, and I remember Tony Gwynn used to talk about it all the time, is being able to read the ball as soon as it comes out of the pitcher's hand. There aren't too many who are that blessed. And by reading it, you want to know, is it all seams, meaning fastball, or is it a lot of skin, meaning something else? The pitch very high at 97, almost went to the screen. 2-2 the count. By the way, knowing he throws hard, De La Rosa has 2 wild pitches. But anyway, I remember years ago in Vero Beach, they would have the young players, and they would have a ball that had been pierced twice by steel rods, and they could spin the ball either as a fastball where you saw all seams, or the other way where you saw mostly skin. 2-2 pitch, and it's swung on. High fly ball to left. It's playable. Rivera looking up into that powder blue and makes the catch. And all Tulowitzki can do is back to second base. So 2 out, and Ty Wigginton coming up. So Smith losing a chance for a run batted in. Ty Wigginton, somewhat of a local product, born and raised in San Diego. Eventually went to Charlotte, North Carolina, and went to the University of North Carolina in Asheville. He's another guy where the count is extremely important. If it's 1-0, he's hitting .480. So let's see what he gets from De La Rosa. And the first pitch swung on and foul back. No balls and 1 strike to Ty Wigginton. Rockies lead 1-0 with 2 out. They had consecutive singles by Ionetta, the catcher, Nicasio, the pitcher, and Fowler, the center fielder, to pick up the run. Now they're trying to get Tulowitzki home from second. And with 2 out, a strike 1 pitch to Ty Wigginton. And he swings at a fastball and doesn't get it. Came up there at 97. Ty, big enough to get the job done. He's an even 6, 205-pounder. Originally drafted by the Mets. Played a lot with the Mets. Then went over to the Devil Rays and the Astros and the Orioles. And now here he is with Colorado. No balls and 2 strikes. Here comes De La Rosa away. 1-2 the count. That ball really sailed, and it came up there at 96. 1-2 the count. Fastball, slider, and a changeup. I think that was just almost like a cut fastball the way it sailed. Not much to call it a slider. 1-2 the count to Ty Wigginton. De La Rosa at the belt watching Tulowitzki. Back he comes and drops it low, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. So he lives in the 90s without a doubt. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Tulowitzki at second. 1-0 Colorado. Ty Wigginton hitting .255. De La Rosa at the belt. Here he comes. Ground ball hard to third. Up with it there's Miles. Gets it over to Loney. So they leave Tulowitzki at second. No runs, no hits, a man left at the end of 2.5 innings. 1-0 Colorado. The Dodgers will have Ruby De La Rosa, followed by Rafael Furcal, and then Aaron Miles. De La Rosa with the bat. He's had 11 trips to the plate. He has 3 singles, and in his 15 plate appearances, he has struck out once. So that makes him dangerous. So Ruby, right-hand batter. Nicasio ready and delivers, and a full swing foul, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. Iannetta took that in the mask. 0-1 to Ruby. Nicasio right now has made 35 pitches and then moved along to get it up to 61. Next pitch is way off the plate, chased and missed. No balls and 2 strikes. Nicasio back with a look like a slider or even a cutter. It just explodes. They throw at 95, and at the last second, the ball just seems to jump away. Same kind of a pitch De La Rosa threw. 1-2. Nicasio comes back, and it's popped up right side. Miles, Mark Ellis out there to make the catch for the out. You know, you hitting the road, take the Dodgers with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.TV today. See every Dodger game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Dodgers.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. 1 out on the pop fly to Mark Ellis, and here's Furcal, grounded out in the first inning. Couple of notes. 2 teams that are off today, both the Giants and Arizona. And Furcal takes ball 1. Giants will be in Philadelphia tomorrow night. Tim Lincecum will go against Vance Worley. Who? Vance Worley. Not Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, not Roy Halladay. Vance Worley, who happens to be 6-1. Furcal swings and misses. Lincecum, despite having a very good earned run average of 2.9, is only 8-8, and of course he lost that heartbreaker to Kershaw 1-0. 1-1 pitch. Rafael shows bunt, and the pitch low and inside. Ball 2, 2-1. Arizona is off tonight. They'll be in San Diego tomorrow night. The Padres played a day game today in Philadelphia, and they beat Cliff Lee 5-4. 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed. 2-2 the count to Rafael Furcal. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. No runs, 1 hit for the Dodgers. First inning single by Matt Kemp. The pitch is swung on and hit just fair inside third and down the line. Rafael is on his way to second, and he'll have himself a stand-up double. So Furcal swinging and missing. Suddenly got one and hit it over third and down the line. They were certainly not playing him that way. So a 1-out double by Rafael Furcal down the left field line. It wedged up against the top roller, so the ball was dead. So the tying run at second base. And here comes Aaron Miles. So Miles, who has done so well with runners on base, he's also hitting .302 with runners in scoring position. So Aaron checks in. 1 out, third inning, 1-0 Rockies. Nicasio ready and delivers high, ball 1. High to Miles, he's only 5'8". Miles has hit all throughout the lineup. He's hit fifth a lot. He also hit number 3, but rarely. 1 ball and no strikes. Nicasio looks back at Furcal, and the 1-0 pitch on the way. Miles takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Aaron Miles, what a surprise. What a year. Originally signed by the Astros. He's out of Pittsburgh, California. Outfield playing him the other way, figuring he'll go that way on the Nicasio fastballs. The 1-1 pitch is very high. Ball 2, 2-1. So he's up to 48 pitches. De La Rosa made 61 in 3 innings. And with 2 young pitchers, the pitch count is very important. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Miles with Andre Ethier waiting on deck for call at second. 1-0 in favor of the Rockies. Miles trying to pick him up, get the Dodgers even. 2-1 the count. Nicasio from a stretch at the belt. Looks at second. Long look. Now the 2-1 pitch, and Miles lifts it to the gap in left center. There's nobody there. It's going to go to Ward. So in comes for call. Miles into second with a double, and the little guy has done it again to tie it up 1-1. This time coming up with his 12th double. It is really something. Of course, you know the story, I would assume, if you've been reading about the Dodgers all year. Aaron Miles had laser surgery, and all of a sudden, it's a whole new world. And the biggest thing is the fact that he can read seams or stitches or no stitches when that ball comes out of the pitcher's hand. So here's Ethier now trying to pick him up and get the Dodgers a lead. 1-1 in the third. Nicasio ready, delivers, and is a high fly ball into deep right center. She is gone. And the Dodgers lead 3-1. Andre Ethier hits his 10th home run of the year. And 1 minute the Dodgers were trailing 1-0. Now they lead 3-1. It's been a while for Ethier. He homered on the 10th of July against San Diego. So 9 games plus the first couple of innings tonight, and Andre lowers the boom. So the Dodgers 3 runs, 4 hits. Rockies 1 run, 3 hits, and the batter is Matt Kemp. Nicasio ready, and his first pitch in for a strike. For Nicasio, the 8th home run that he has allowed, and it's Ethier who gets it. No balls and 1 strike. Kemp single to left in the first inning. Strike 1 pitch is down and away. 1-1 the count. So he's up to 50 pitches now. 16 in the inning. Kemp struggling in July, tries to lift one, can't do it, and a 1-2 count. From 362 in April, slumped in May, rose to the challenge in June, riding out July. The 1-2 pitch to Matt, fought off and fouled away. Dodgers 3 runs, 4 hits. Rockies 1 run, 3 hits. We have 1 out here in the third inning. Andre Ethier gets them 2 in a hurry, standing between Clayton Kershaw and Chad Billingsley. The 1-2 pitch is reached for and lined to Mark Ellis. So Kemp goes after a pitch away and lines out. And the batter now will be Juan Rivera. Rivera struck out in the first inning, 0 for 1. Juan hitting .286 with a home run and a run batted in. One of the 9 Dodgers to start in left field. Dodgers had something like 11 left fielders their first year they came to Los Angeles, 1958. 11 different people to get acquainted with the screen in left field. 0-1 the count. No screen here, but the outfielders are being screened. Each one goes out, and they're watching him so very carefully. Strike 1 pitch on the way to Rivera, and the veteran hits it on the ground to Mark Ellis. Second baseman plenty of time to get him, and that's that. So 3 runs on 3 hits. The big blow home run by Andre Ethier well back into right center in the pavilion. And at the end of 3, 3-1 Dodgers. the official shoe of muscles everywhere. And by Chase, deposit checks from your smartphone with quick deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters. On a gorgeous evening, it was 79 degrees at the start of the game. Andre Ethier starting to heat up. It's a 2-run home run, and the Dodgers take a 3-1 lead into the 4th inning. Ian Stewart runs up as if to bunt. 1 ball and no strikes. That's in there. 1 ball and 1 strike to Stu. Been a tough year for him. Hard to believe. No home runs, 38 games. 18, hit as many as 25. And I'm sure with everybody reminding him of what he did and what he's not doing, he's trying even harder. And that dropped in there nicely. That was 88. Ian Stewart, with it all, he's only 26. Fouled away. Stewart had committed to going to the University of Southern California, but then he passed up college to turn pro. He was a first-round pick in 2003. Really looked like they had something 2 years ago when he had 25 home runs, 70 runs batted in. But for whatever reason, he's been struggling ever since. 6'3", 205 pounds. Open stance. 3-2. Check swing. And swing, says Brian Gorman. So Stewart strikes out, goes 0 for 2. 1 away in the 4th inning. You know, you can join the Dodgers Sunday at 1:10 with the D-backs. Fans will take home their very own Dodger sports bag. Compliments of United Airlines. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotion. Second, now 3rd strikeout for De La Rosa. Iannetta holds up a strike. Chris singled with 2 out in the 2nd inning. Then Nicasio singled. Then Fowler singled. And the Rockies had a run. But the Dodgers got rid of that. 1 ball and 1 strike. Three runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. Little breaking ball, but missed 2 and 1. That's about as slow a pitch as we'll see all night from either pitcher. It was 83. He's back to 92. When De La Rosa pitched in Colorado, that was in June, he made 83 pitches and he was gone at the end of 5. It was a slugfest, but he picked up the win. It was a 10-8 game. 3-2. Broken bat, and that bat sailing right to that lady. Thank goodness, safe and sound. I'm okay, she said. I'm okay. The 3-2 the count to Iannetta. What they usually do is the rare occurrence of a bat sailing into the stands. They usually take the bat away and then present the fan with another bat. It doesn't make any difference to the fan, I'm sure, but it means a lot to the player. I mean, they really get hooked with their bat. They have gamers, like they have gamers with gloves, and they don't like to lose it. And for Iannetta, having a base hit his last time up, that bat might be kind of precious. He's only hitting .224. Players talk about how many hits there are in the bat. Players, sounds like a joke, but there have been players who sleep with a bat. Pete Rose, and of course he has the most hits of anybody who ever played the game. He was really careful about his bats as Dianetta strikes out. What Pete would do, he would hit the ball with the bat, even if he grounded out, flied out, whatever. The bat boy would hold the bat, and Rose would come back and look at the bat and see just where on the bat he hit the pitch. I mean, he would do that on every at-bat. Well, here's Nicasio. He singled in the second inning. Kind of a surprise. He had had 17 at-bats, and he had struck out 13 times. And he singled to right field. 1-1. Dodgers 3, Rockies 1, top of the fourth. 2 away. Well, now De La Rosa has made 79 pitches, and he's in the fourth inning. He made 83 pitches in 5 innings in Colorado. Ground ball, just foul. He almost hit one down that lane again. Yeah, that will be the thing to watch. Up to 80 pitches now. 2-2. And strike 3 called, so he winds up striking out the side to give him 5. And as he walks off at the end of 3.5, he leads 3-1. Themselves trailing 1-0, and Rafael Furcal doubled, so Aaron Miles then hit the gap for a double to cash in Furcal and tie it up. And then Andre Ethier hit the first pitch into the pavilion, and the Dodgers scored 2 on the swing and lead 3-1. You know how we like to tell you, just to give you a little more insight, certain times on what a hitter does in a certain count. We've done that a couple of times tonight. When Andre Ethier, for instance, puts the first pitch in play, you know, he can foul it off and then there's no discussion. But when he puts the first pitch in play, he is hitting .372. And when he hit that home run, you got it. It was the first pitch. So now in the bottom of the fourth inning, James Loney, Diona Navarro, and Eugenio Velez. Nicasio has made 55 pitches in 3 innings. De La Rosa has made 81 in 4 innings. And ball one to Loney, who hit back to the box in the second inning. James hitting .260, 4 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Biggest games that Loney's ever had were against Colorado, this time foul ball. He had 9 RBIs 5 years ago with 4 hits and 2 home runs, including a grand slam in Colorado. He has 2 grand slams. Both of them are against the Rockies, and both of them in Denver. 1-2 to James. He golfs that, and it's speared by HELTON. So Loney, a soft line drive to Todd, 1 away, and Navarro, the catcher, coming up.
Catcher number 30, Deanna Navarro.
1 away. Navarro struck out in the second inning. Switch hitter, 0 for 1. Following Navarro in the lineup, Eugenio Velez. When the Rockies come up in the 5th inning, they'll have Fowler, ELLIS, and HELTON. A little breaking ball in for a strike at 82. 0-1. After a while, I'm sure the hitters feel everything's coming up there in the 90s. And just like that, the count 0-2. Juan Nicasio, 25 years old, the end of August. Shows a fastball at 95. Nicasio at 6'3", and he comes down at the hitter. Full extension of that arm most of the time. Over the top, and that'll do it for Navarro. Looked like a straight change up here. 2 down in the 4th inning. And the batter will be Eugenio Velez. That's the 3rd strikeout for Nicasio. Navarro way down in front of it. Velez grounded to 3rd in the second inning. Switch hitter, batting left-handed in the game. It was December of last year when he signed. Spent 55 games this year at Albuquerque. And ball 1. One and 0 to Eugenio. Fastball at 96, but high. 2-0 the count. Giants selected Velez out of the Blue Jays organization. He was with the Giants from 07 into last year. 2-1 the count. 2 home runs for the Giants last year. You would not expect much power from him. His high in the big leagues, 5. Off the plate. 3-1 to Velez. Foul ball, 3-2. Velez perhaps dictated his own role in his very first year as a pro in the Sally League. He had 64 stolen bases. So the word was out, we have another rabbit on the way. I think Chris Iannetta shaken up, and so the plate umpire, Larry Vanover, Does what umpires have always done. Give the catcher a little time. Clean off home plate. Full count. Down he goes. So 4 strikeouts now for Nicasio. And at the end of 4, Dodgers 3, Rockies 1. Miles and a home run by Andre Ethier after the Rockies had 3 consecutive singles with 2 out in the second inning. So Ruby De La Rosa, who has made 81 pitches in 4 innings, will now be facing the top of the Rockies lineup, Fowler, Ellis, and Helton. Way off the plate, ball 1. As far as the pitch total for the young right-hander going up against Fowler, he made 100 pitches in 6 innings. That was against the Angels. Made 98 pitches against the Mets and the Padres. Last game he made 88 in San Francisco. He's right there at 84 right now. Start of the 5th inning, 3-1 Dodgers. Ulysses Chacin and Clayton Kershaw tomorrow night. Hope you'll be out here with us. Fastball strike. And he hit 97, so he's still got some petrol in the tank. Fowler hitting .253. 25 runs batted in. Ball 3. Fowler had 6 home runs for the Rockies last year. Not a power hitter. 3-2. Ground ball inside first. Great save by Loney. The throw to first in time. Wonderful play. Combination of Loney and De La Rosa to beat Fowler. So James takes an extra base hit away from the Rocky center fielder. That thing's down the line otherwise. And a perfect throw to De La Rosa. Bang, bang at first. Dan Bellino right there to make the call as the umpire. Wonderful stop by Loney. And made the play. So here's Mark Ellis. Ball 1. Mark Ellis fouled out and struck out 0 for 2, hitting .317. 2 home runs, 11 runs batted in. And a little foul. Navarro will not have a chance. Ellis, in the little time that he's been with the Rockies, has 8 doubles, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, and scored 16. Also 4 walks, put it all together over just 20 games. And a little ground ball to Furcall. So Ellis grounding to short, and we have 2 down. Time to get you thinking. We usually come up with a pretty good trivia question. Here's this one. Which 2 players share the National League record for most seasons, all with one team? Well, give you an idea. Here's Todd Helton. 15 years, all with the Rockies. He was indeed for many years referred to as the franchise. Tonight he has struck out and grounded out, 0 for 2. Helton batting .317 with 11 home runs, 51 runs batted in, and ball 1 to Todd. One ball, no strikes. And that evens it up. If you're a football fan, if you remember the 1994 UCLA football opener, it was at the Rose Bowl. The Bruins just did get by Tennessee 25-23. And that was the night Todd Helton replaced the Vols' injured quarterback. Then 3 weeks later, when Helton hurt his knee, the Peyton Manning story began. 1994, the beginning of the story. 1-2 the count to Todd Helton. 2 out, 5th inning. And big ground foul. 7 in a row retired by De La Rosa. He had that one spell where he gave up the 3 straight hits. Todd back up, 1-2 the count. And a slow roller. Plenty of time for Velez. That'll be it. 8 in a row retired by Ruby De La Rosa on a magnificent play by Loney. And it's still 3-1 Dodgers. To 1, and of course that brings back memories of yesterday's game when the Dodgers beat the Nationals 3-1. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Ruby De La Rosa, Rafael Furcall, and then Aaron Miles. De La Rosa, in his 5 innings, has made 96 pitches. They are moving around in the Dodger bullpen, but no one's actually throwing. So here's Ruby, and here we go. Strike. That is the 70th pitch made by Nicasio. One ball and one strike. Ulysses Chacin and Clayton Kershaw tomorrow night. Chacin is 8-7. Kershaw 11-4. If you can't make it, that'll be on KCAL 9. A drive to right, but Seth Smith is there. And one away. And that'll bring up Rafael Furcal. The concluding game of the series Wednesday night, Aaron Cook, he's 1-5. Hiroki Kuroda 6-12, and that will be on KCAL 9. So that's the pitching for the next two. Kuroda finishes off against Colorado, and then Arizona will be in. Rafael grounded to second and doubled inside third. Takes a strike. Ian Stewart looking bunt right now. Furcal had 2 strikes on him when he doubled over third in the 3rd inning. And he's got 2 strikes on him now, so Stewart goes back. But again, he's pretty far off the line. And again, Rafael goes the other way. This time, Tulowitzki gets it over to HELTON. 2 down here in the 5th inning. Well, let's check the answer on that trivia question. You come up with it. Which 2 players share the National League record for most seasons, all with one team? Mel Ott, 22 years with the New York Giants. Stan Musial, 22 years with the St. Louis Cardinals. Both left-hand hitters. Now, of course, Todd Helton with 15 makes him seem like a teenager. Miles takes ball 1. Of course, when you talk about Mel Ott, he was 16 years old. And John McGraw said, I want him sitting next to me in the dugout. I don't want him to go down to the minor leagues. And some batting practice instructor will wreck what is an unorthodox hitting style, because Oddie was a left-hand batter, and he raised his right leg pretty high in the air, part of a timing mechanism before he swung. A broken bat, a pop fly to right field, and coming up to nail it is Seth Smith, and that'll be that. 1, 2, 3, and at the end of 5, Dodgers 3, Rockies 1. Shut out the Houston Astros 6-0. That tied him with Oral Hershiser with 4 shutouts. And talking about Hershiser, he naturally gets all the credit for 1988. But don't forget Tim Belcher. He won 12 games that big year. He also had an earned run average of 2.9. And in the postseason, Belcher beat the New York Mets twice in the LCS and picked up a World Series victory as well. Quite a guy, Tim Belcher. Let's go back to this one. Three to one in favor of the Dodgers. They're going to watch De La Rosa, you can bet, very carefully now. His pitch count is up to 97. Honeycutt and Mattingly, and they've already called down to the pen to get somebody up back of him, and it's Matt Guerrier. 3-1 in favor of the Dodgers. 2-0 the count to Tulowitzki, who has walked twice. .98 pitches. And he's high again. Remember, his most pitches, he went 6 innings against the Angels and made 100 pitches. His longest game, he went 7 against the Mets. Went 7 innings. Also went 7 against Minnesota. 3-0 to Tulowitzki. And a strike. Tulo trying to get something started here. And another strike. 3-2. Remember, we told you that Tulowitzki, when he strikes out, about 34-35% of the time, he's caught looking. Let's see what he does here. Still there, 3-2. 2 years ago, Troy Tulowitzki checked in by hitting for the cycle. Remarkable young player, considering the fact he's been in the big league since '06. And he's only 26. And he's aboard again. So Tulowitzki walks for the 3rd time. There would be 4 walks given up. And De La Rosa now has made 103 pitches. And it'll be Smith, Wigginton, and Stewart trying to get back. 3-1 Dodgers. So Honeycutt knows he's already gone above most pitches in a game. Seth Smith fly to center, fly to left, 0 for 2. Hitting .288. And the first pitch off the plate at 95. The Honeycutt left-handing his notes. 1 ball and no strikes. Two and 0. Rockies struggling against right-hand pitching. They are 12 games under 500 against right-handers. But they have a young right-hander still throwing hard, but he's made 105 pitches, and Jim Tracy kind of playing the waiting game. Catcher Chris Iannetta behind him with the bat. Ruby, after walking Tulowitzki on a 3-2 pitch, has fallen behind 2-0 to Seth Smith. Tulo stole second with 1 out in the 3rd inning. And that's a strike. 2-1. For Seth Smith, he has 25 doubles, 7 triples, and 8 home runs. And a ground ball down to second. They're going to get 1. They are going to get 2. So the Rockies ground into the double play. One of the things that the Rockies do is hit into double plays. Coming into this game, Jim's club, 5th highest in the National League in grounding into double plays. So even though they get a lot of men on base, especially at home, the double play has crushed them. They have hit into 76 double plays. And that's a strike. Wigginton grounded out twice, 0 for 2. One ball and one strike. Well, he just hit 100 on the gun on his 109th pitch. Pretty hard to think he's tiring, huh? And a little foul. Navarro digging, trying, can't come up with it. The fan did. Crowd kind of booing the fan. I don't think Deanna had a play. Take another look. No. So it belongs to him. He didn't bend over much. I think he was still, he was still behind there. So he's entitled to it. 1-2 the count to Ty Wigginton. Now, the lady with him is going to sit down and he's going to say, "Where were you when I just made that catch?" Since the second inning, De La Rosa has allowed 2 walks, both of them to Tulowitzki. Three runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. A couple of hard-throwing young Dominicans going head-to-head. Ruby is now up to 112. High chopper, waiting for the hop is Miles. And he was still able to throw him out. That was a dangerous play for Aaron, waiting for it, but Wigginton does not run that well. So they're done, and at the end of 5.5, 3-1 Dodgers. Hitter at the plate when we came up with the best defensive play so far tonight. James Loney backhanding what would have been at least a double the way Fowler run, and then James got up, fired the ball to De La Rosa just ahead of the left-hand hitting Fowler. So Loney makes a big play in a very tough game, and the Dodgers still lead 3-1. It'll be ETHIER, Kemp, and Rivera. And if anybody gets on, James Loney. Meanwhile, De La Rosa has made 113 pitches and obviously has assured his manager and pitching coach that he's strong enough to stay in there. So that's a career high for him through 6 innings. Well, 22 years old. He's full of beans. Andre Ethier, remember that note we gave you? If he puts the first pitch in play, he's hitting better than 370. He hit the first pitch for the home run in the 3rd inning. Off speed for a strike. Andre hitting .298, 10 home runs, 46 runs batted in. And another pitch with a little off it. 1-1. Juan Nicasio. Fastball fouled away. Andre walked up and got the first pitch. Looked like a fastball just above the belt right there. And I mean, it was gone as soon as he hit it. Number 10. 1-2 to Andre. Down and dirty. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. Rockies had 3 consecutive hits with 2 out in the 2nd inning to take a 1-0 lead. Their offense has not been heard from since. They've had only 2 base runners, and it's Tulowitzki walking twice, and that's it. So De La Rosa has been absolutely brilliant. 2-2. Three and 2. Nicasio walked Ethier in the 1st inning. That's his only walk, and he has struck out 4. And he walks him again. When he walked in the 1st inning, Matt Kemp followed with a line drive single to left. After the home run, Kemp hit a line drive right at Mark Ellis. So Matt coming up. Rivera hitting back of him. Kemp hitting .311. He has 24 home runs, 73 runs batted in. (3-1) Dodgers, 6th inning. Andre Ethier does not have a stolen base, nor do you expect him to try and steal, not with a hitter like Matt Kemp behind him. (0-1) on the foul ball. Down in the Dodger bullpen for the 2nd time tonight, Matt Guerrier warms up. Remember, De La Rosa has made 113 pitches. That's a lot of pitches anyway, but especially for a 22-year-old. 0-1 to Kemp. Pretty good fastball at 93. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Juan Nicasio gave up his 8th home run of the year to Andre Ethier. He's 25, the end of August. 0-2. Time. Todd Helton is pointing to something. Oh, there's a ball loose down in the left field corner. Way to go, Todd. No balls and 2 strikes to Matt Kemp. With his 24 home runs, he's 3 back of Lance Berkman, who leads the league with 27. 0-2. Foul back. Matt, with all of his abilities to affect the game, He's also scored 61 runs. Talking about a young ball player really just coming into his own. Just really become a leader without doing any cheerleading. Matt's 26. He'll be 27 the end of September. 0-2. And down he goes. Fastball at 91 puts him on the shelf. One away. That would be strikeout number 5 for Nicasio, who is due to bat third when the Rockies come up in the 7th inning. One thing in mind is to examine the Rockies and their bench. It has not been a particularly good bench. They're 13th in pinch hits, 13th in pinch hit RBIs. Well, we'll wait and see. And whack down the left field line. That will go all the way to the fence. Chasing it is Wigginton. Heading for the plate. Tulowitzki's throw to the plate. Not in time. It gets away, but holding at second is Rivera. And the Dodgers lead 4-1 as ETHIER brings it home on the double by Rivera. By the time Wigginton went all the way to the bullpen gate, the run was in. For Rivera, that would be his third double. Even though Iannetta could not handle the throw, ETHIER would have beaten it anyway. But it was a good, strong throw by Troy Tulowitzki. So ETHIER brings it in. He scores a second time. Dodgers lead 4-1. And pitching coach Bob Apodaca out to the mound to talk to Nicasio. One thing that Nicasio has to learn, and I'm sure Apodaca is reminding him, you're down 4-1 and you're going to go out for a pinch hitter, but don't quit on me now. There's one out. Don't let the game get away. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. But you can understand Nicasio's thinking. I'm going out for a hitter. I've just given up another run. The other guy's pitching up a gem. But he's got to forget all that and try and get Loney. Matt Reynolds, a left-hander, gets up in the Rockies bullpen. It'll be Loney and then Navarro. So Rivera with a double and a run batted in, waiting for a ride home. Loney hit back to the box and lined out to Helton. Pickoff play. And the throw not in time, but close. Tulowitzki trying to duck in behind. That throw almost hit Rivera in the helmet, which is a great idea to keep the helmet on while you're running the bases. And ball 1. James hitting .259, 4 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Made a marvelous play on the ball hit by Dexter Fowler back in the 5th inning. In there. Dodgers at home are 3 games under 500. They're on a little bit of a roll now. Mattingly's club has won 6 of the last 7 at Dodger Stadium, trying to make it 7 out of 8 tonight. And it'll be on the shoulders of Clayton Kershaw and Hiroki Kuroda to keep it going. 1-1. Off speed. That's about as slow a pitch. It's down to 76. And a lot of heat from these 2 young pitchers. 4-1 Dodgers. 1 out, 6th inning. Rivera at second base. Pickoff play. Not in time, but close. Most of the time, that's called by the catcher. The pitcher is looking in. The catcher does what he does. Tulo reads it. A lot of times it's very simple. Little foul out of play. A lot of times the signal from the catcher, not all the time, but it's something that the shortstop can read from his position. And what it could be, he could take his catcher's mitt and just for a second turn it over and put it, let's say, on the top of his left shin guard, just for a minute. Not like that, but if he turned it over, that could be the sign. The shortstop can read it. The pitcher sees that and just whirls and fires. 2-2 the count to James Loney off the rubber. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. And a high fly ball into deep right field. Smith gone back at the track, makes the catch. Rivera tags up at second, and he will move over to third. So Loney a long out to right field. So Rivera now at third. James with 4 home runs goes back. No doubt thinking about a big one that got away. And the batter Navarro has struck out twice. So Loney gets his man over to third. And now Navarro trying to pick him up. Loney, back in 07, had 15 home runs. Then that dropped to 13 in 08, 13 in 09, and 10 last year. And he has only 4 this year, and I'm sure that one felt awfully good when he first made contact. Ball 1 to Navarro. Four runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. Nicasio pitching his last inning. He's due to bat third in the 7th. Foul back. 1-1 the count. Chacin and Kershaw tomorrow night. Clayton Kershaw trying to win his 12th. That'll be on KCAL 9. Hope you can be out here with us. And then alongside of him, there's Chacin. And then it'll be Aaron Cook, whom we haven't seen in quite a while, against Hiroki Kuroda. And again, that'll be on KCAL 9. 1-1. Ball 2. Nicasio has just 1 wild pitch. Juan Rivera with that long double to drive in ETHIER. Now at third with 2 out. 2-1. And it's going to be a hopper through, and in comes Rivera, and the Dodgers lead 5-1. So Navarro singles to center, picks up the run batted in to cash in Rivera. Dodgers have scored twice. Jim Tracy keeps looking at the lineup card, and here he comes. He'll go and get Nicasio. So the 24-year-old gets into the 6th inning. Ryan Spilborghs is going to come in a double switch, so he can put Spilborghs in the number 9 slot. And Nicasio's coming out, and we'll be back. Young fellas from the Dominican going head-to-head tonight, and the Dodgers have found the holes in Nicasio to score 5 times. De La Rosa has allowed just 1 run, and that came with 2 out on 3 consecutive singles. The pitch count, Nicasio is done at 98. De La Rosa has made 113, and we'll see whether he'll go back out there or not. So a downcast Nicasio gives way. If you're keeping score, Ryan Spilborghs goes in the number 9 spot, and Mac Reynolds will take over on the mound, and he would bat, although he's probably not going to hit, in Wigginton's spot. Eugenio Velez, a switch hitter, turning around to bat right-handed. Tries to hold up, can't do it. Matt Reynolds is out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Went to school at Austin Peay. Big fella, 6'5", 240. He'll be 27 in October. That's another strike, 0-2. Reynolds, he was the Rockies' 20th pick 4 years ago. He inherited 14 runners, now number 15. None have scored. Line drive, a diving save by Mark Ellis. So Mark Ellis making a diving catch of the ball hit by Velez, and the Dodgers settle for 2, leave 1, and at the end of 6, 5-1 Dodgers. While leading 5-1, Jamie Carroll comes in with Matt Guerrier. So Guerrier will go in Velez's spot. He made the last out. Carroll will take over at second base and bat 9th. And Matt's tuning up to face Stewart, Iannetta, and Spilborghs. By the way, the Seattle Mariners just lost their 16th in a row. They lost 10-3 at Yankee Stadium. And with Seattle having lost 16 in a row, it will bring back a lot of memories to those of us who saw it. The Major League record, the 1961 Philadelphia Phillies, whose skipper was Gene Mauch, and they lost 23 in a row. The first pitch to Stewart, ball 1, 1-0. 3 years later, the Phillies, on the verge of winning a pennant, and had another grand collapse. They blew a 6.5 game lead with 12 games left. The Cardinals went on to play the Yankees and won the World Series in 7 behind Bob Gibson. But oh, do we remember Gene Mauch Talking about those 23 in a row losses in Philadelphia. Ian Stewart flied to left, struck out, 0 for 2, hitting 146. One and one. Two and two. I would think struggling right along with Ian Stewart is the Colorado hitting coach, Carney Lansford. Carney dying on every swing and miss. 2 and 2. Oh boy. So Stewart goes 0 for 3. Carney Lansford talking to himself, I am sure, not to mention what Stewart is doing. Breaking ball out of the zone.
Catcher number 20, Chris Iannetta.
So one away, and Chris Iannetta coming in. The catcher singled and struck out. Rockies did all their hitting in the second inning. With 2 out, they had 3 straight singles. They haven't been heard from again. That's a strike. One and one to count. Matt Guerrier has been a workhorse for the Dodgers, working on Iannetta. Chris hitting .223. Guerrier has worked 43 innings. 1 and 2 to count. .45 games, 43 innings, and set sailing tonight. 2 and 2. The opposition is hitting .250 against Matt, and he's just nailed the first hitter. The first hitter against him, like Stewart, hitting less than 200. 3 and 2 the count to Iannetta. Singled and struck out, 1 for 2. Rockies are 6 games under 500 on the road. They're break even at home. Good fastball at 92. Still 2 and 2. Dodgers with 3 now in July. They'll go to Colorado for 3 on the weekend of the 19th of August. Colorado will come back here on the 26th of August, and that'll be that. That's ball 4. This is the 10th meeting between the two teams, and the Dockies have won 5 of 9. So now Ryan Spilborgh's coming up. Remember, in the double switch, he bats 9th. Ryan Spilborgh's from Santa Barbara. Now, he is a classic example of what's happening with the Rockies. Rockies are 500 at home, 6 games under. Spilborgh is hitting .311 at home, 141 on the road. Why? Can't just be the altitude. 1 ball and no strikes to Ryan. He'll be 32 in September. 1 and 1. Ryan went to University of California, Santa Barbara. He's the fellow who always points out that his father was born in Belgium and his mom in Guatemala. He said, I might be the only Belgian Guatemalan besides my sister in the world. 7th round pick by the Rockies 9 years ago. One and 2 to Ryan Spilborghs. 1 out, 7th inning, 5-1 Dodgers. 2 and 2. Matt Guerrier trying to finish it off for Ruby De La Rosa. Ball 3 gets away at the plate on the wild pitch. Down to second base goes Iannetta. 5 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. For the Rockies, their attack outside of those 3 straight singles only walks. Since the second inning, Tulowitzki has walked twice and Iannetta has walked. And that's it. Seth Smith and Troy just taking in the action. 3-2 the count. Well, that's the way it goes for the Rockies on the road, apparently. Spielborg strikes out. Second strikeout for Guerrier. 7 strikeouts as far as the Rocky hitters are concerned. So Jim Tracy going through the same pain Davey Johnson went through. And with 2 out, Dexter Fowler. Fowler walked, singled, robbed of an extra base hit by James Loney. Off speed for a strike. 79 miles. So he really pulled the string on that one. Fowler with 25 RBIs. Iannetta at second, 2 out. For a call very deep. Can't tell by the camera angle, but he's back on the rim. 0-2 the count. Please stay in your seat. Please. 0-2 to Dexter Fowler. Chacin and Kershaw tomorrow night. Cook and Kuroda Wednesday night. Thursday an off day. Kirk Gibson in Arizona coming in here Friday. Arizona 4 games back of the Giants. One and 2. Fouled away. Arizona, on the heels of the Giants, have won 2 in a row. And Arizona, like the Giants, consistent enough to be above 500 at home and on the road. So they'll be here Friday. 2-2. The Rockies have been pretty much an average National League team offensively. Average. Ball 3. If you look it all up, you find the Rockies are average in hits, doubles, stolen bases, home runs on the road, bases loaded situations, all average. Three and 2 to Fowler. Yep. He strikes out the side, does Matt Guerrier. That means 8 Rockies have bitten the dust. And at the end of 6.5, 5-1 Dodgers. trying to balance their books against Colorado. This is the 10th meeting. Rockies came in here having won 5 of 9. Meanwhile, Matt Guerrier made 26 pitches while striking out the side. And we move on to the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Dodgers will have Jamie Carroll, Rafael Furcal, and Aaron Miles. So for Don Mattingly, getting good show from all areas, hitting, fielding, and pitching, as the Dodgers try to make it 7 victories in their last 8 games here at Dodger Stadium. Jamie Carroll getting in the ball game, hitting .283 with 8 runs batted in. Always interesting with Jamie. Will he ever swing at the first pitch? The chances are very, very rarely. And ball 1. Of all the hitters in the major leagues, Jamie swings at the first pitch less than anyone. And promptly goes after the second pitch and comes up with a solid single. Hit number 7 for the Dodgers to open up matters here in the 7th inning. So Jamie a base hit against Matt Reynolds, and now Rafael Furcal will turn around and hit right-handed. Furcal grounded out twice and doubled 1 for 3, scored a run in the 3rd inning. At the time, it was the tying run. Reynolds keeping an eye on Jamie. Reynolds does not throw very hard, especially in a game where you saw Nicasio and De La Rosa. I mean, his fastball high is about 92. Fouled away. 0-1 to Rafael. Batting right-handed, hitting .162. Tim Wallach may or may not be hanging out a sign. Carroll takes the lead. Reynolds basically fastball, slider, splitter, and a change. There he goes, and it is fouled away. So Jamie will have to go back to first. Where's the ball, he said. 0-2 the count. Down in the bullpen for the Rockies, they get a right-hander up, Matt Lindstrom. Oh, 2. 1-2. Reynolds is certainly big enough. He's 6'5". Checks in at about 240. One and two. There goes Carroll again, taken at the plate, throw down, and I think the tag was missed. So Ellis took a swipe, couldn't get Carroll. So Jamie, running a couple of times now, picks up a stolen base. For Jamie Carroll, he is now 7 for 7 in stealing bases. So a runner at second, nobody out. We'll see what Furcal does now, trying to advance him. And ball 3. Aaron Miles on deck. Matt Reynolds, so far anyway, had 14 runners inherited and have not allowed one to score. So this one isn't inherited. Brought himself to this trouble. 3-2. And sure enough, Furcal goes the other way. They'll stop Carroll at third. Strong throw by Seth Smith. Boy, what a nice bit of hitting for Rafael Furcal. So Rafael trying to get his man over to third. Singles to right field. Just went down, hit it inside out. Furcal's second hit. So first and third, nobody out with Miles, Ethier, and Kemp. Miles switches. Ethier's left and Kemp is right. So Lindstrom down in the pen, getting ready. Aaron Miles doubled home for a call in the bottom of the third. Rockies were leading 1-0. Aaron's doubled, tied it up, and then Ethier hit a home run to give the Dodgers a 3-1 lead. They had 2 doubles and a single in the 6th inning. They had 2 more and lead 5-1, and they're looking for more now. Ball 1. Rockies are halfway on the left. Mark Ellis is right on the edge of the grass up at second base. 1 ball and no strikes to Aaron Miles. Throw to first, almost threw it away. Aaron Miles, remember, has done a great job either side of the plate, but especially against left-handers. He's hitting .373 against left-handers, and his numbers are magical, either with runners on base, .381. He's hit .364 since June 1st. He's hitting .302 with a runner in scoring position. All of that comes in a 5-foot 8-inch package. Aaron Miles. There goes for a call. Missed at the plate. No throw. So Rafael does a belly whopper into second base. So the Dodgers now second and third. Nobody out. Trying to add to a 5-1 lead. That brings up the infield on the right side. Stewart is up. And now Tulowitzki comes up. It always makes the hitter a better hitter with the infield up. Cuts down the range of all 4 infielders. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. One and 1. 1-2, 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Reynolds became a pro in '07, and he was pitching in the big leagues 3 years later. He has Carroll at third, for call at second, nobody out. 1-2 to Aaron Miles. Poked wide at first. HELTON will hold the runners and go to the bag for an out. So Miles tried to get it through the drawn-in infield, but grounded to HELTON. So now Andre Ethier, the way things are working out with Lindstrom throwing in the bullpen, you would think that this is the hitter that Tracy wants Reynolds to get, and then he would bring in Lindstrom to pitch to Matt Kemp. Andre Ethier hitting .239 against left-hand pitching. Tonight, he had 2 walks and a home run against right-hander Nicasio. Comebacker coming to the plate, drawing the throw is Carroll. Ionetta faking, and the tag. Runners now wind up at second and third with 2 out. So Ethier at second on a fielder's choice. Jamie Carroll is cut down 1-2-5. Now let's see, first base open, and Matt Kemp coming up. Down 5-1. We thought Tracy would bring his right-hander in now. Then again, he might even put him on, and I think maybe that's what they're going to do. I think Jim decided we'll have the left-hander stay in, walk Kemp, and take his chances against Rivera. Yep, they are going to walk him. So Kemp will draw the walk. Dodgers then will have the bases loaded with 2 out for Rivera. And again, it's a question He's got Lindstrom down there, the right-hander throwing. Just to look at Lindstrom, even though we don't see him, Lindstrom is 2-1, an ERA of 3. Been in 44 games, and his strikeout to walk ratio is about 2.5 to 1. So you figure, well, why in the world wouldn't he bring Lindstrom in now? Well, now is the operative word. So Lindstrom will be coming in to face Rivera. The Dodgers have the bases loaded, 2 out, bottom of the 7th. It's 5-1 Dodgers, 5 runs and 8 hits. Rockies 1 run and 3 hits, and we'll be back. Juan Rivera will be the batter, and Matt Lindstrom will be the pitcher. Rivera has 3 grand slams. One of the 3 he hit against the Dodgers in Yancey Brazaban about 6 years ago. He finds for COL at third, ETHIER at second, and KEMP at first. Rivera has struck out, grounded out, and then doubled the left to set up 2 runs in the 6th inning. So Matt Lindstrom out of Rexburg, Idaho, facing Juan Rivera. Fastball, strike, comes in and hits 95. Matt is 6'4" and 210. Originally drafted by the Mets back in 2002. Never made it with the Mets, made it with the Marlins and the Astros, and now here. And a high drive into right center field on his horse is Fowler, and makes the catch running parallel to the wall. So Rivera a long out to right center, and the Dodgers wind up leaving 3, but still leading 5-1. Eighth inning on a beautiful evening, 79 degrees when the game started. Dodgers leading 5-1. It's almost a repeat of yesterday. If you remember yesterday, the Nationals had a run on 2 hits in the first inning and were never heard from again. Well, the Rockies had 3 hits for a run in the second inning, have not been heard from again. Kenley Jansen coming in now to pitch the 8th. De La Rosa, Guerrier, and now Jansen. 5-1 Dodgers. For Ellis, fouled out, struck out, grounded out. Mark hitting .313. One and one. 1-2. Jansen has been dynamite. He's allowed 3 hits, with the opposition hitting .067, and he has struck out 22 in his last 14 innings. Welcome to the club. So Ellis strikes out. That's 9 Rockies to go down. A reminder, Friday night, Arizona will be here. That'll be first of 3 with Kirk Gibson's club. So here's Helton, struck out, grounded out twice. 0-1. Jansen just hit 96. So Jansen has struck out 23 in his last 14 1/3. And just like that, he has Helton 0-2. Helton hitting .316, 11 home runs, 51 runs batted in. He has walked as many times as he has struck out, 45. Todd is one of the few players in the big leagues who would walk as many times or even walk more than strikeouts. That's really rare. In 2009, Todd walked 89 times, struck out 73. The year before, walked 61, struck out 50. And he got him. That is that delayed call by Larry Vanover that got Helton way back in the first inning. So all of a sudden now, that's 5 strikeouts in a row. Stewart and Spielborgs and Fowler in the 7th, Ellis and Helton here in the 8th. So 10 Rockies have bitten the dust, and here's Tulowitzki. And a strike. The paid attendance, 28,860. 28,860. Tulowitzki has walked all 3 at bats, so he's still hitting .279. 1-1. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. And a high fly ball into left field and deep. On the track is Glenn, leaps up and makes the catch. So Tulowitzki, a long out to left. Down go the Rockies as Tony climbs the wall, just getting into the game. And it's still 5-1 Dodgers. A bobblehead night, the Dodgers and Rockies at 7:10. Fans will receive a rookie El Toro, compliments of Kaiser Permanente. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotion. So it'll be a good night. Tomorrow night, Fernando Mania bobblehead and Clayton Kershaw going up against Ulysses Chassin. Esmil Rogers, just called up, will now come in. Rogers originally signed by the Diamondbacks. He's from the Dominican Republic. 25, he'll be 26 the middle of August. Basically, fastball, curve, and change. 6'1", about 175 pounds. He was with the Rockies earlier, was sent out, and now brought back. He'll be facing Loney. Last year, left-handers, I think, had a lot to do with sending him back. They hit .370 against him. Early in May, he had a strain in his armpit, went on the DL. They took an MRI of the right shoulder, a strain in the lat muscle, and an oblique injury. So he was out for a while. Big ground ball to Ellis. 2 pitches and 1 out here in the 8th inning. For the Rockies, it's been Nicasio, Reynolds, Lindstrom, and now Rogers. For the Dodgers, De La Rosa, who was just great. 6 innings, 113 pitches, allowing 1 run. Matt Guerrier then came in, made 26 pitches and struck out 3 to De La Rosa's 5. And then Jansen came in to strike out 2 more. Navarro struck out twice, but then he singled in a run in the 5th inning. 1-0. Fastball foul back. 1 ball and 1 strike. When the Rockies come up in the 9th inning, they'll have Smith, then a hitter for the pitcher, and Stewart. Down in the Dodger bullpen, McDougal and Quo heating up. Certainly the busiest pinch hitter for the Rockies is Jason Giambi, so he might very well see him. Jonathan Herrera is another fellow who pinch hits a lot. And the other is Ryan Spilborghs, but he's in the game now. 3-1 the count. Leona Navarro. Again, Ulysses Chassin with a record of 8-7, and Clayton Kershaw 11-4 tomorrow night. Ball 4. So Rogers walks a man with 1 out, and Tony Gwynn just came into the game, made that fine catch on the ball hit by Tulowitzki, and now Tony will swing the bat, followed by Jamie Carroll. Gwynn hitting .256 with 13 runs batted in. Tony has 11 extra base hits, 9 doubles, 2 triples. And ball 1. Tony will look down to Tim Wallach. 1 ball and no strikes. Navarro held on by Todd Helton. Outfield split. Fowler shading to left center. So they give Gwynn pretty much all of right center. They also pull the right fielder Smith over. So they don't expect Tony to pull the ball. 2-0 the count. Off the plate again, ball 3. Dodgers have received 4 walks. One of them intentionally granted. That's a strike. 3-1 to Tony. 5-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 8th, trying to make it 7 out of 8 at home, trying to balance it up. 5 wins and 5 losses to Colorado. Rockies will have Smith, the hitter for the pitcher, and Stewart in the 9th. And that's probably slapped into center for a base hit. So Navarro stopping at second with 1 out. The Dodgers have 2 on, and Jamie Carroll coming up, and Bob Apodaca going out to the mound. So Gwynn comes up with a base hit to go 1 for 1. They add, probably getting him close to 260. And Jamie Carroll, who's had 1 at bat, he's 1 for 1, ready to come up. Bottom of the 8th inning. Apodaca talking to Rogers. Jamie, who has played with a couple of ball clubs and had some big times in Colorado, as you can see, a .300 batting average. That would be almost the only time that Jamie ever hit .300 in the big leagues. He did it with the Expos, but he was only in 16 games, and he hit .310. And ball 1. The year that Jamie hit .300 5 years ago, he hit 5 home runs, which is his major league high. He does not have any here. The pride of Indiana, Jamie Carroll. 2-0. Since he is from Indiana, when they asked him his favorite movie, it was no surprise when he said Hoosiers. Remember the great basketball movie with Gene Hackman? 2-0 to Jamie. Rafael Furcal on deck. Two and 1. Jamie hitting .285. We were talking about Todd Helton. Just about even walks and strikeouts. Carroll is a little bit that way. Jamie has struck out 36 times and he's walked 33. And ball 3. So Rogers, just joining the ball club, comes in, has walked 1, given up a single, and digging a hole. 3-1 to Carroll. Navarro and Gwynn out on the lines. Fastball grounded into right field. So Jamie's 2 for 2. They'll stop Navarro, and they'll have the bases loaded with 1 out for Rafael Furcal. So Jamie Carroll, a late insertion, 2 for 2. And the bases are loaded with 1 out. Rafael Furcal coming up is 2 for 4. Grounded to second, double to left, grounded to short, single to right. So he has used the whole ballpark, which is a very good sign for the Dodgers to see Furcal do this. Plus, he had a stolen base. I mean, they have really missed him. So bases loaded, 1 out, 5-1 Dodgers, trying to break it wide open here. And a slow roller ought to be good for 1, not for 2. Scoring easily is Navarro, and the Dodgers lead 6-1 as Furcal picks up a run batted in. So Aaron Miles will be coming up. First and third, 2 out in the 8th. Rogers gives up a run. Aaron Miles grounded to short. Double to deep left center. Flied to right. Grounded to first. For Call, Stoll second back in the 7th inning. Down the line from third comes Gwynn. And ball 1. Nicasio, Reynolds, Lindstrom, and Rogers. The Dodgers with De La Rosa, Guerrier, and Jansen. 6-1 Dodgers in the 8th. 1-0. Sprayed foul down the line. 28,860 here tonight. Hope you'll be with us tomorrow night. Fernando Mania bobblehead night. And Clayton Kershaw against Ulysses Chassin. Clayton talking to Chad Billingsley with some sunflower seeds. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's going to go off the glove of Ellis. Another run scores for Call holding at second, and the Dodgers lead 7-1. So Miles, a line drive. Mark Ellis up the ladder, just got his leather on it, but not enough to hold. So the second hit for Miles and his second run batted in. So Rogers has given up 3 singles and a walk, 2 runs. And the Dodgers now, despite the great effort by Mark Ellis, are leading 7-1. And the batter is Andre Ethier. And ball 1. Ethier walked, hit a home run in the 3rd inning with a man aboard, walked again and scored, and reached on a fielder's choice. 1-0. 7-1 Dodgers, and still at it. Check swing. That'll be a strike. 1-1. Dodgers scored 3 in the 3rd, 2 in the 6th, and 2 here in the 8th. 7-11 for the Dodgers. 7 runs, 11 hits. 1 home run, 3 doubles. Fastball hit down the left field line. Spielborg's on the run, and it's going to drop. Fair ball. That means another run, and a fly ball single makes it 8-1 Dodgers. I'm not sure whether Spielborg thought it was going to go foul, but it's enough to have Jim climb the wall. So Ethier, a high fly ball single right down the left field line. Here comes Ryan, and then slowed down, and the ball landed just fair. So Ethier says thank you very much. Another run comes in. It's a 3-run inning charge to Esmail Rogers. 8 runs, 12 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rockies. And remember, all 3 hits came way back in the 2nd inning. And now here's Matt Kemp, the 8th man to come up here in the 8th inning, and with runners at 1st and 3rd. Check swing. 1 ball and no strikes. Trent Olgen is on deck. He would bat for Jansen. So the Dodgers breaking it wide open here. 1 ball and no strike. 2-0. The Dodgers beat the Rockies 7-1. That was back in May. They've also beaten the Rockies 11-7 and 10-8. And ball 3. So unless Rogers starts throwing strikes, bases will be loaded with 2 out, and Trent Olson will be coming up. Rockies are on the edge of losing their 3rd in a row. 3-0. In there. The Rockies, in beating the Dodgers 5 times, shut them out twice. 3-0 behind Chacin and 3-0 behind Ubaldo Jimenez. Whoa, ball 4. So Matt Kemp draws the walk. ETHIER goes to second, and Trent Olson will now be coming up to hit for Kenley Jansen. For Trent Olson, as he checks in, hitting .250 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Coming off the bench, Trent is 2 for 6. So good night, Mike. Dodgers 3 in the 3rd, 2 in the 6th, 3 in the 8th, leading 8-1. Bases loaded with Miles, ETHIER, and Kemp out there. Off speed and ball 1. Ionetta wants to find out about that pitch. Normally, or at least a good portion of the year, we tell you about the Dodgers' inability to hit with runners in scoring position. Tonight, for Don Mattingly, it is totally the opposite. Dodgers are 7 for 13 with runners in scoring position. That's .538. The Rockies are just 1 for 7. 1-1 to Trent. Young man from Australia without a grand slam. He runs 12 hits for the Dodgers. Olson becomes the 9th man to bat here in the 8th inning. 1-1. Fastball just off the corner. 2-1 to Trent. On deck, James Loney. Two balls, 1 strike. And ground foul behind Davy Lopes. 2-2 the count. Dodgers will win their 5th of 10. By winning tonight, they will have won 3 of 4 here at Dodger Stadium. Miles, ETHIER, and Kemp are all out there with 2 out. 2-2. Down in the Rockies bullpen, Rafael Betancourt begins to warm up. 2-2. And down goes Olson, and that will end the inning, but not before the Dodgers pick up 3. Rafael Furcal having a good night, leading the Dodgers, and we go to the 9th, 8-1 Dodgers. 8-1. The Dodgers now will bring in left-hander Hung-Chi Kuo, and he'll be facing at least one left-hand hitter, Seth Smith. Then they'll go to the bench for a hitter for Rogers, and then the switch hitting Ian Stewart. So Hung-Chi Kuo in his 21st game. Hung-Chi, in looking at an area that gave him such a bad time mentally earlier in the year, has walked 13, struck out 16, though he's still fighting it a little bit. Seth Smith, a left-hand hitter due-up, has flied to center, flied to left, and grounded into a double play. So Smith, who's hitting .218 against left-hand pitching. Then Stewart, who will switch, and Stewart's hitting 100 if he comes up to hit. And then they'll also have a hitter for the pitcher Rogers. Eric Young coming out on deck. So here's Seth Smith now. 8-1 Dodgers in the ninth. Seth, 2 fly balls and a double play, hitting .287. Ball 1. 8 home runs, 42 runs batted in, and a lot of extra base hits, 25 doubles and 7 triples. Two and 0. Dodger pitchers have struck out 10 Rockies in 8 innings. De La Rosa struck out the side in the 4th. Ground ball by the diving Carroll into right field. So Seth Smith starts off with a base hit to right. Eric Young will now be coming up to bat for Rogers. So Seth Smith, 1 for 4. EY checking in at .220. 3 runs batted in. Switch hitter hitting .292 from this side of the plate. 0-1. EY's been in 25 games. Coming off the bench, 1 for 11. That hit by Smith, the first hit as he goes to second. Defensive indifference, no stolen base. The hit by Smith is the first hit by the Rockies since the 2nd inning. One ball and 1 strike to Eric Young. Ian Stewart on deck. One and 1. Slice down the line, foul, back into the seats. 1-2 the count. Tommy Reynolds, the bench coach for Jim Tracy. Not much to talk about tonight. One ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. Nicasio, Reynolds, Lindstrom, and Rogers for Colorado. De La Rosa, Guerrier, Jansen, and Kuo for the Dodgers. With the Dodgers leading 8-1. 2-2. Wow. A wild pitch for sure. And Smith goes to third. That was as bad as that wild pitch Henry Rodriguez made. 3-2. And he walked him. So first and third, nobody out. Ian Stewart coming up. Rick Honeycutt not happy with what he sees, and he'll go out and try and come up with the answer. For Quo facing Stewart, Stewart is 1 for 6 in the past, a home run. So Ian Stewart flied to left and then struck out twice. As we mentioned earlier, he's the big puzzle. What has ever happened to him? A wonderful player, but he's hitting 144. He has 1 run batted in. Of course, he'd love to have the answer too. Stewart has been in 38 games. And he fouls it away. 0-1 the count. Stewart recalled when Wigginton went on the DL. Then he was optioned to AAA when Ubaldo Jimenez came back. Then he returned. So it's been an up and down year for him anyway. 0-1. Young going to second. Again, defensive indifference, no stolen base. But either way, Rockies have runners at second and third and nobody out. 8 runs, 12 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits for Colorado. Over at third is Seth Smith. At second, Eric Young. 1-1 to Stewart. Off the plate, ball 2, 2-1. Although they're not happy about it, I'm sure they were hoping Quo would get through the inning, but Mike McDougall begins to loosen up in the Dodger bullpen. High chopper to short. The out will be at first, but Ian Stewart, a modest thing but thine own, will get a run batted in, his second of the year, as Seth Smith brings it in. Young advancing to third. Dodgers lead 8-2. Iannetta single to center, struck out and walked. Iannetta against Quo, 2 for 6, and ball 1. One ball and no strikes. Outfield straight away on Iannetta, and that's ball 2. It is not a very good performance for Quo. Not tonight. I'm sure he's not happy with it, not to mention Honeycutt and Mattingly. And ball 3. After Iannetta, Ryan Spilborghs, and you can tell Honeycutt's a little restless. He's going to check and see how McDougall is doing in the bullpen. 3-0 the count. And ball 4. So in the inning, Quo has walked 2, given up a single, committed a wild pitch while getting 1 out. And Ryan Spilborghs coming up. And let's see, I think Mattingly's had enough. Yep. So a disappointing evening for Hung-Chi Quo. I'm sure Hung-Chi thought, I've gotten all that behind me, but up popped the devil here in the 9th inning. A base hit and a couple of walks. Navarro consoling him and also encouraging him. And out he goes. McDougall will be coming in, and we'll be back. lead. The Rockies have runners at first and third, and Mike McDougall now trying to get the last two outs. He's been tough. He's given up just 2 runs in his last 12 appearances. That's the middle of June. And he's allowed just 11 base running. McDougall, 34 years old, originally signed by the Royals out of Wake Forest. Came up to the Royals in 2001. So Eric Young is standing at third. Chris Iannetta is at first, talking to Coach Glenn Allen Hill. And Ryan Spilborgh's coming up. Spilborgh's came into the game in a double switch, and in his only at-bat struck out in the 7th inning. Perhaps a little embarrassed on that fly ball single by Andre Ethier in the 8th. Hung-Chi Kuo, 12 balls and only 5 strikes, so that was a tough outing for him. Down to second base goes Iannetta. That's the 3rd runner to go to second base without a play. Another defensive indifference. 1 ball and 1 strike. First base open. 8-2 Dodgers. Off the plate, 2-0. Dodgers got strong performances from De La Rosa, Guerrier, and Jansen. Kuo was certainly not on his game, and they're hoping McDougall will get the last couple of outs. 2-0. Ball 3. On deck is the leadoff man, Dexter Fowler. Three and 0. And ball 4. So all of a sudden the Rockies have the bases loaded on 3 walks and a single. There was also a wild pitch and an out.
Center fielder number 24, Dexter Fowler.
The most runs in an inning that the Rockies have scored this year, 6. They've done that 5 times. So the bases loaded, 1 out, a run in, 8-2 Dodgers. Here is Fowler, and ball 1. Fowler walked in the first inning, singled to right in the second to drive in a run. He was robbed of an extra base hit by James Loney, and last time up struck out, and the Dodgers driving Mattingly to drink. 1 ball and no strikes to Dexter Fowler. One and 0. And ball 2. So all of a sudden the Dodgers have lost the strike zone. They've given up 3 walks, and McDougall is behind 2-0. That's a strike. Mike is 6'3", 190, 34 years old. Been pitching as a professional since 1999. Fastball fouled away. 2-2 the count to Dexter Fowler. Waiting on deck is second baseman Mark Ellis. EY, Eric Young is at third. Chris Iannetta at second. Ryan Spilborgh's at first. 2-2 to Dexter Fowler. Slice foul. McDougall throwing hard. That last pitch was 95. Two and 2. And that's going to go into right field. Young will score. They'll stop Iannetta. So the bases remain loaded. That makes it 8-3 in favor of the Dodgers. as Fowler comes up with his second hit and his second run batted in. So 5s for EY as everybody else moved up. And Jason Giambi will be coming up as a pinch hitter. So the veteran Giambi, who's been their number one pinch hitter, coming up. Still only one out.
For the Rockies, pinch hitting, number 23, Jason Giambi.
Jason Giambi is hitting .263, 10 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Giambi, with 2 outs, is hitting .325, and as he checks in, he has 14 grand slams. The last one he hit 3 years ago. So Giambi hitting for ELLIS with HELTON on deck. And ball 1. Giambi has certainly been around. 40 years old, originally signed by the A's in 1992. He went to Cal State Long Beach. Foul back. In May, Jason Giambi had a 3-home run game. Todd Helton was resting with a stiff back. They were in Philadelphia. Giambi got the start, had 3 home runs, drove in all 7 Rockies runs, and they won that game 7-1. The oldest to ever hit 3 home runs in a game. And a roller up the middle, backhanded, knocked down, picked up, and they get Giambi, who can't run. He could barely get down the line. Scoring is Ionetta. So that makes it 8-4. And now, apparently, as Giambi went down gingerly, let's take another look at that play. Carroll knocks it down, picks it up, throws to first, and Loney's off the bag when Giambi got there. So, believe it or not, this thing is still alive. It'll be an error charge to Carroll. Little ground ball. Watch Giambi. Ham, I guess, got him. So let's see who will run for him, because somebody certainly has to. So it's a 3-run inning. It's 8-4 in favor of the Dodgers. Aaron Cook, who will pitch Wednesday, is running for Giambi. So a 3-run ninth. It is 8-4 Dodgers. And that's a strike to Todd Helton. So only 1 out. Watching Giambi go down the line, you figured they couldn't possibly get him. Only the hurried throw pulled Loney off the bag, and they're still very much at it. 0-1 to Todd. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Fouled away. 0-2. Spilborghs, Fowler, and Cook out there on the line. Helton is the 8th man to come up. Troy Tulowitzki is on deck. Off the plate, 1-2 the count to Helton. Helton called out on strikes twice, grounded out twice, 0 for 4. One and two the count. Two and two. For Todd Helton, he has 5 grand slams. Two balls, 2 strikes. Still only 1 out. going into this inning, when it was 8-1, it was kind of a walk in the park for the Dodgers, and then Hung-Chi Kuo struggled and then left trouble to McDougald, and he's had more problems, especially with the error by Carroll. So 2-2 to Helton, 1 out, Tulo on deck. This thing is far from over. Ball 3. So it was a nice evening for Don Mattingly, but it's 3-2, 1 out, bases loaded, 8-4 Dodgers. Huge pitch to Todd Helton. Fouled away. Helton is a master of fouling off pitches. One of the big reasons why he sees so many pitches during the course of a game and then at bat. By the way, against McDougald, he was just 1 for 2. Spilborghs, Fowler, and Cook at the ready. 3-2, 1 out, and a slicing foul ball back into the stands. So McDougald comes in, and he's already made 21 pitches in relief of Kuo, who made 17. So there have been 38 pitches in the 9th inning, and Helton is the 8th man to come to bat. 3-2 to Todd. And that's ball 4. So Helton walks. That's the 4th walk in the inning. Todd gets a run batted in. Spilborghs brings the run home. Fowler goes to third. Cook advances to second. And with the bases loaded, it's now 8-5 Dodgers. The batter will be Troy Tulowitzki. Don Mattingly is also pushed to do something he didn't want to do. He's going to have to bring in Javi Guerra. So McDougald unable to do it. Kuo was unable to do it. And McDougald made 22 pitches. So Troy Tulowitzki will be facing Javi Guerra with 1 out, bases loaded. Dodgers 8, Rockies 5, and we will be back. About would you use him in back-to-back games, and he said yes. Well, he used him in back-to-back games, the last 2 games with Washington. The last thing he wanted to do was have to use him tonight when they had an 8-1 lead going into the 9th inning. But for the 3rd consecutive game, Javi Guerra is asked to get 2 outs, and with the bases loaded, the 3 runners representing the tying runs, for good measure. First time he's asked to pitch 3 in a row, and he goes up against Troy Tulowitzki, who is 2 for 2 against him in the past. And Tulo is also the 9th batter here in the 9th inning. And remember, still, because of the Carroll error, only 1 out. Tulowitzki has walked 3 times, and Gwynn took an extra base hit away from him, and he hits a towering pop fly. The infield fly rule, Jamie Carroll at the other end of it, a huge out as Tulo goes first ball swinging.
Right fielder number 7, Seth Smith.
So Tulowitzki pops it up. He is a first ball hitter, that's for sure. He didn't want Guerra to get ahead of him, so he went after it, popped her up. So now Seth Smith, who began the inning with a single to right field, the Dodgers hope he began it. They hope he will end it. Smithy is 1 for 4, hitting .289. Ball 1. You have Fowler at third, Cook at second, and Helton at first. Seth Clip has never had a grand slam. 1 ball and no strikes. 8-5 Dodgers. That's a strike. 1-1. Dodgers at the end of the 3rd inning led 3-1. Added 2 more in the 6th to make it 5-1. Added 3 more in the 8th to make it a laugher, 8-1. Only to have the Rockies come back with 4 to make it 8-5, and they had the tying runs out on the bases. 1-1. Little ground ball to Carroll. This ought to do it. Yep, they'll take this game back to the clubhouse, kicking and screaming. For the Dodgers, 8 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. For the Rockies, 5 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. For Aaron Miles and James Loney, winds out to be a tough tussle for Miles. He had 2 hits and 2 RBIs.